Um, Gotta do my standard check. Y'all know how the beginning of these lives go. Um, I think we're on. Okay, excellent. All right, so my name is Tremaine Wills. For those of you who don't know me, I am a financial planner and investment advisor. I own a company called Mind Over Money, where we are on a mission to help you manage your money better, reduce financial stress, and just get back to enjoying life. And the topic for today's live is health savings accounts, or HSAs. And so I'm going to walk through what it is, give you some best practices for it, teach a little bit about why you need it, and then give you some action steps that you can take to use it better and incorporate it into your financial planning strategy. Um, if you know anybody that could benefit from this live, feel free to share it with them. If you are looking for additional tips and resources, templates that you can use, you can download the basics bundle for free. That link is below this video. And if you want to speak with a financial advisor to talk about some options to help you manage your money better, you can schedule a discovery call with me. That link is also below or above this video, depending where you're watching. So let's get into it. What is an HSA? An HSA, like I mentioned, is a health savings account. These accounts are designed specifically to help you save for healthcare expenses. It can be used for healthcare expenses that are now, but more commonly, it is needed for healthcare expenses in retirement. With the HSA, there are some contribution limits and some requirements on how you can have access to it. So, in order to leverage a health savings account, you have to have a high deductible health plan. Okay. Those are the only types of accounts that allow for you to have an HSA so that you can save money on healthcare expenses. Now, there are some contribution limits. So, depending on if you have a self or one for a single person, or if you have one that is for a family plan, there are contribution limits. If yours is just for yourself as a single person, the contribution limit for 2024 is $4,150. If you have a family plan, the contribution limit for 2024 is $8,300. For those of you who are age 55 and older, you have an additional $1,000 catch up contribution. So, if you are trying to figure out how you want to incorporate this into your financial planning strategy, those are some things to consider. You can't just put, $10,000 in there to help with healthcare expenses, but you can max it out. So just like we would max out our individual retirement accounts, how we try to max out our 401k plans, this is another one of those accounts where it will behoove you to max it out if you're able to. Another good thing about HSAs and why we like them so much is that it is tax free, right? So the contributions going in, we don't pay taxes on them. The gains or the interest that is earned in the account, we don't pay taxes on it. And then qualified withdrawals. So when we take money out to cover qualified medical expenses, we don't pay taxes on withdrawals either. So this is a phenomenal way to leverage a tax advantaged vehicle to save on taxes, right? And medical expenses are one of the driving forces around bankruptcy and retirement. So it really is something designed to help you manage your money better in retirement. So let's talk a little bit about that. So the HSAs were started with the Medicare Prescription Drug Improvement and Modernization Act. And so this was signed into law in 2003, and then it went into enforce in 2004. And so we need this because when you are in retirement, we are expecting that if you retire at age 65, over the course of your retirement, you can anticipate that healthcare expenses are going to be about $150,000. And that's not a small piece of money, right? And especially if you have additional underlying medical, what am I trying to say? Underlying like diseases and things like that, conditions, your expenses could be even more. So Think about $150,000 of your nest egg for retirement, whether that's coming from your 401k savings, your IRA, brokerage accounts, money that might be coming from SSI. $150,000 of that is projected to be needed for healthcare expenses. So we can see why you might want to start saving for retirement now and saving for your healthcare expenses now. And um, trying to make sure that your healthcare expenses are not what causes you to go into bankruptcy. So how many people right now have access to high deductible savings plans and are using their HSAs? About 30 million people have access to it. And of that 30 million, approximately 28 million are actually using it, which shows you that this is something that is incredibly beneficial. And for those of us who know about HSAs, we are being intentional about maximizing its use. So, what are some ways that you can use these, right? Well, first, of course, you want to maximize your contributions. If you have the cash available to put inside of this account, do it, right? You don't pay taxes on it going in, you don't pay taxes on the growth, you don't pay taxes on money coming out. So it is a fantastic vehicle to really help stretch how far your dollars go. If your HSA allows you to invest, you should invest those funds because then your money will be growing faster inside of that account and you won't pay taxes on the gain. So just like a Roth IRA, when the money goes in, um, and we invest in whatever vehicle we decide to invest in, all of those gains will be tax free. So essentially, your money is working harder for you and growing, and you're not paying taxes on it. And you can use those withdrawals to cover any medical expenses. So, what you can find yourself seeing is that you put money in, but then it multiplies, maybe two, three, four times. And now a smaller amount that you put inside of that account is allows you to cover so much more medical expenses in your later years. You want to keep receipts. So when you do make withdrawals from your HSA, any money that you pull out, keep the receipt from that. So should you have to prove that this was for a qualified medical expense, you're able to prove that and you won't have to pay any taxes or penalties on the money that has been taken out. And then you also want to check for employer matches, employer contributions. So there are some instances in which your employer will also make a matching contribution into your account, which is a good benefit, right? So we often think about our employer making contributions or matches into a 401k or our retirement vehicle, but them making contributions into our HSA is also an added benefit. So if your employer is making contributions or if there's a requirement in order to get that contribution, what you want to do is see what it takes to get that and then do the requirement so that you are not leaving part of your compensation package on the table. All right, so this has been our talk on HSAs. To recap what we shared, HSAs are health savings accounts. They are designed to help you cover medical expenses. The money goes in tax free, so contributions are tax free. The withdrawals are tax free. As long as they're on qualified medical expenses, and then the gains are also tax free. So this is a great way to save some money on taxes and really also start preparing for your future medical expenses. Um, Contribution limits if your plan is for a single person or for self coverage. In 2024, the contribution limit is $4,150. If you have a family plan, that contribution limit is $8,300 in 2024. And if you're age 55 and older, you have a catch up contribution of $1,000 on top of whichever plan that you have. So that's the recap of the HSAs. If you have access to it, it is often a very, very good addition to your financial planning strategy, right? I try not to say that everybody should have it, but I do believe that this is a valuable tool to have in your financial planning toolkit. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it. If you are looking for additional money templates and you want to know a little bit more about different types of investment accounts that have tax advantages, you can download the Basics Bundle, which has our investing order of operations in it to help you identify, well, what are some things that I might want to, or some accounts I might want to have in order to get more tax advantages. All right. And then if you have more personalized questions, you can tap the link below to schedule a free discovery call. All right. I hope this was very helpful to you, and I will see you during our next